Hello, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 ways that I'm preparing for my mission trip on board the Logos Hope. So the first way is that I've been working hard all spring and the summer to save money for my trip and for whatever I do after. So I've been up here working up at Davidson Orchards where I am right now, and my roles have changed a little bit over the course of this year. So the first thing that I was doing early in spring, I was out in the fields. We were planting trees, pruning trees, all sorts of stuff like that. Just cleaning up because Davidson's does agritourism, so cleaning up for when it opens each spring. And then now that it's open, I've just been a filling guy. Somebody's on vacation for the week, I go to that department. Somebody calls in sick, I come in for the day. I like the different experiences that I get. But even more than that, what I think is so cool is that all these experiences will help me on my journey as I'm on board the Logos Hope. There's so different departments in the Logos Hope. There's different ministries that we're doing, and through all these different things, now I've had that experience. I've had experience in retail. I've experienced in coffee shops. I've experienced making ice cream. I've had experience in the food industry. I've had experience in the fields. I've had experience doing all these different things, and not just here. And I've also been working for some other people in our church for just lawn care or other things like that. So that is the first way that I'm preparing, is through work. This is the second way that I'm preparing for my mission trip on board the Logos Hope, and that is the spiritual work that I'm trying to do in my life. So just like most Christians, I try and read the Bible every day and study it. It's a big struggle for me. Some days I just read it as a chore, or I'm not focused on it. But when I do focus on it, oftentimes I'm out here on this couch, out in our backyard full of nature, and yeah, you just learn a lot. Currently, I'm reading through the Bible chronologically, which has been cool for me to connect, especially now with where I'm reading through with the prophets and the kings. Has been really cool to see how those mesh together. And just that's been teaching me a lot in my walk as I prepare for my journey over the next year. Other ways that I prepare spiritually is that most nights I play a worship song on my guitar. That's just a way that I always feel grounded, and worship is a way that I feel really connected to God. And then also prayer. I don't do prayer every day. At least not this deep, more meaningful, more intentional prayer that I'm talking about. But I'll write down all these prayer requests that I have that day. I'll often go through an acronym like ACTS, so it's adoration, confession, thankfulness, and supplication. And just dedicating my life to God, which is a way that I feel really connected. And then also on my phone I have a note of people that have either asked me for prayer, or people that I've been able to evangelize to, or people that I know that have evangelized to these people. And I just write down a brief blurb about who they are, what we talked about in the conversation. And on that list, I try and pray for at least a couple of those people each week. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm preparing my heart spiritually for my journey on board the Logos Hope next year. The third way that I'm preparing for my mission trip on board the Logos Hope is through training. I've had to do a lot of training both with OM and on my own time. With OM, I've done training, 2 courses. The first was the Get Ready course, and that was covering what is OM, how to be an effective cross-cultural missionary, how to raise a support team, and all those other details that kind of fall into those categories. The second training that I did with OM was the Plan to Protect course, and that was just a course on how to protect youth and vulnerable adults as I'm working with them overseas, and for that matter, as I'm working with them here. Both those courses are preparing me, obviously, as they're from OM, for mission trip next year. On my own time, I've been reading lots of testimonies and missionary stories, and just seeing how these other people who've gone before me have done missions well, and seeing ways that I want to emulate them or copy them, and seeing ways that I maybe didn't like how they did it as much, and maybe I'll do it a little bit different way. But just learning and seeing how they did it, and yeah, just seeing the power of prayer has been something for me recently through all these testimonies that I found really powerful. So yeah, that's the third way that I'm preparing for my mission trip on board the Logos Hope. The fourth way that I'm preparing for my mission trip on board the Logos Hope is through fellowship. I'm here in my church foyer where I do fellowship every Sunday. And fellowship is a huge thing to me because I'm a people person. whether it's just connecting with people about their week, whether through the good times and bad, whether it's asking advice from those who've done missions before me, or just connecting with my brothers and sisters in Christ. Fellowship has definitely been a way that I've grown in my faith and walk with God. Because of that, it was a big hurdle for me to get over thinking that I won't see these people that I love so dearly over the next year. But I also have faith and trust in God that I'll be making so many awesome new friends when I leave, and that I'll be able to stay in contact with them through texting, through emailing, through calling people as I travel over the next year. But because I'm going, and I do want to stay in contact, there's kind of two things that I've been doing. First is I've been working on texting people, because I'm not very good at texting, like conversations. I'm very just practical in my text, which is like hanging out here, blah, 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 and then like that's the end of it. The other thing I've been trying to do is just trying to have fellowship as much as possible, whether it's having coffee fellowship after the service, or trying to chat with new people at our church family camp, or going and playing pickleball with some friends. I've been trying to spend as much time in fellowship with my brothers and sisters in Christ to prepare me spiritually and mentally for my journey on board the Logos Hope. The fifth and final way that I've been preparing for my mission trip on board the Logos Hope is by building a support team. This has been one of the most encouraging experiences of my life, and I mean that with my whole heart. When I started making these videos like a month and a half ago, not that I made a lot of them, the reason was that I knew I had to raise a support team, and I was hoping that these videos would help me do that, and they really have. But God has been so generous in how He's provided for me, in that, He has so graciously blessed me and been so good to me, because all my support has been raised. People have been so generous to me, which has been awesome. But this still has been a big part of me building towards my mission trip. I had to create prayer letters, write support letters, make prayer cards, keep records of everybody's emails and money coming in and all this sort of stuff. And that was maybe not a strong suit of mine to do all the office work, but it's definitely been awesome to see how God has worked, and just how many people have offered to pray for me, how many people have offered to support me. It has just reminded me so much how great our God is. So yeah, that is like the fifth way that I'm building my support team. And as always, if you'd still like to pray for me, you totally can. As always, there's a QR code on screen right here, and you can scan that QR code, and it'll take you to the link to sign up for my prayer list, as well as subscribe, hit the thumbs up on this video, so that these videos start reaching a broader audience and more people can pray for me and support me through these online platforms. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.